How's it going, everyone? Today is November 1st, 2019, and this is Thriving Bulls Trade of the Day. Hello, good morning or afternoon, wherever you guys are coming from. This is Thriving Bulls Trade of the Day. We're looking at /YM, or the Dow Jones futures. We're looking for a sell opportunity here. It looks like this asset has just been skyrocketing up pretty much all day long. As you can see, if I switch it over to the pin, as you can see, this is our start of the day. And we pretty much came down, then went up, consolidated, came down, went up, consolidated, and we've just been making new highs, new highs, new highs. Eventually what's going to end up happening here is that we've got to start heading downwards. There's got to be some sort of momentum that takes us down. So it being Friday and all of these traders closing off their positions for the end of the week, stuff like that, once we get closer to our expiry time, our trade's already placed. As of right now, we placed it before we put the video on. But as of right now, it looks like we do have structure to the left. From right here to here, we can see that there is structure right about there. So what we can do with that is we can go ahead and draw a nice rectangle from that high all the way to where its body is hit. So what it looks like is that what we'll have to kind of see is for price to really start heading downwards from this location, and we will have to assume the price is going to go into this level and hit here and then kind of not break and then head back into new and trying to make lows here and maybe test the 200 EMA, or maybe test out these POCs all the way down here, testing a new type of structure. So for a down, trying to see exactly what market is possibly wanting to do. We've hit new highs for the day. We've been doing that pretty much all day. I mean, this was the high of the day, then this, and then this, and then now this. So we're hitting new highs. And I know that typically, some people will say, well, you don't want to trade off the high. You just want to kind of wait for some confirmation, things like that. And that's a good strategy to have. But sometimes what ends up happening is that you create a nice V formation, and then price goes down here, and you never even had a second chance to even capitalize on this move because it didn't do that, it just did this. So you kind of want to try to pick your poison on that. And the best way to really do that is to just know how these types of assets move. And the biggest thing too is drawing things like this. Obviously you have a trend line formation that's forming here, and just kind of watching that. You can try to draw all sorts of different trend lines that will help you, or what we're about to do, which is drawing a nice Fibonacci tool. We're going to draw a nice Fibonacci tool from the recent swing low all the way down to the up to the recent swing high. And what you can see here is that price has a 23.6 hovering around these POCs. You have the 38.2, which is hovering around yesterday's positive 5, and then you have, negative 5. Then you have the 50 hovering around pretty much all of these POCs, and then you have the 61.8 hovering around the negative 1. I mean, you have all these kind of hitting, big points. So that should be going in our favor as well. One of the biggest things that you typically see in these assets is every single day we create somewhat of a V formation. You can see that we created it here. Well, that's hold on one second. Let me turn into a marker, didn't it? You see a V here. When we came down, you definitely saw somewhat of that V here. We have yet to kind of really see that. I mean, we have just been really going up. I mean, even though you have like this V here, typically these types of Vs don't happen at 6 in the morning. They happen typically after the market has moved after the open, and we have yet to see that. The market has taken its open right about here, and after the open we created this V. So you typically see that every single day, but we have yet to see that now. This right here was That time was 7 a.m. Eastern Standard. So price had not, I mean, the market had not opened yet. So we've just been doing nothing but going up for the past 2.5 hours. That's all we've been doing is going up. So there's got to be a way for us to move down. And what we're now forming on the 30-minute chart is a nice candle formation here. So we could possibly see some downward momentum. Let's go ahead and go into the 15 and see what that looks like. Okay. Not really anything I really like as far as how the candles look. Let's go into the 5-minute. Okay, so something a little better. For the first time since we've gone up, what you have yet to see is an engulfing candle to the downside. We have yet to see that. That didn't happen here, didn't happen here, or here, or here, or here. But for the first time, it's happened right there. So it shows that the sellers are going to be looking to want to start selling into the market. So if I go into a 1-minute chart, you can see that these two EMAs are about to cross, and the price is below the 10 and the 20 EMA. So what we could possibly see is a move down, touching here, and then a rocket downwards, or what we'll see is a touch here, and then consolidation, and then a rocket downwards. We may break out to new highs, who knows? But what we do have is our trade. So our trade as of right now is at the 27,229, which is right about there. We're about $687 of profit. We took a $50 contract position. So this is an in the money contract. We did a 57.75 price. So at 57.75, we're roughly about $15 in profit. So I'm going to go ahead and 57.75, divide that by 2. So we're looking for 28.87, which is roughly a little bit too much for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put 30 for this, because what we're also forming too on the 1-minute chart, I'm sure you can already see it, what I'm about to already say, is if we go into the 1-minute chart, we have this here, and as long as we don't break out on this structure there, we're basically forming a nice head and shoulders pattern, and the head and shoulders are right on this structure. Now I'm sure you're probably wondering, okay, well, what is this rectangle? Well, this rectangle, if not mentioned already, was from last Wednesday's high. So we haven't broken this high yet until we didn't break it Thursday, and then now we're breaking it here on Friday. So we want to see price kind of make that type of move, is to going in here and maybe testing this low, or coming down and testing the 23.6, stuff like that. So that's what we want to kind of see. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into the 1-minute, see what we're seeing here. All right, and then what we like I said, what we want to see is for price to maybe touch here and not break it and then move downwards. That's what we want to see. Now our price was 229, correct? So we're going to go ahead and draw that price in. So 229, which is right about there, if that's correct. It looks a little too close. Nope, that's right. Okay, perfect. So 229 is right there at that level. But we did get in at a in the money contract, which was good. So because of that, we'll be able to get our profits much quicker. We kind of always advise people to get, if you're trading on your own, you want to be able to, and you're not following signals or anything like that, you kind of want to do as kind of many in the money contracts as you possibly can. Now, even though we're forming this head and shoulders pattern too, nothing is saying that we don't form a double top either. We can do that and move down, or we can form a triple top and then move down. These are all possibilities that can happen. So it looks like we're about to touch the structure that we just hit right here at this high. So as long as we don't create new highs, and I mean divergence is really coming into play here. You can see we have a high here, we have our low here, and then we are way down here. So it looks like even though price has been pretty much consolidating the entire time, so we can definitely see that price is wanting us to move downwards. So as long as we keep into that momentum, we should be all right. But we do have an hour and 4 minutes until this trade expires, so we're going to go ahead and pause the video and we'll come back and see what happens. Alright, we're back. We're seeing some nice downward momentum here. So what we need to see is for the price to break this structure right there. If price can break that, then we should be in the clear. We can see that price is not wanting to break it just yet, but what we have now is that these two EMAs are starting to cross. So what we could potentially see is for price to come up and touch these, which is about to do, and then fail, and then we can start to see some downward momentum. Let's see where we're at on NADEX. We're about $10 in profit, nothing too extreme. We have about 54 minutes left until this trade expires, but we just want to see price break this structure right there. And if price can break that, then we should be in the clear. We are below our entry price now, which is good, but we're going to go ahead and kind of watch as this trade kind of plays out a little bit further. And if we kind of see that we're going to start breaking into new highs, if we kind of get that feeling, we'll go ahead and just close the trade off as a win. For the the smaller amount of profit than we could potentially have made. But as of right now, I think we're still going to be seeing some possible downward play here. It's just worth watching it and just being patient and just seeing how it all plays out. All right, we're coming back just because we just don't see prices doing what we really want it to do here. It is Friday. It's getting into the end of the day. So it is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as of right now. And it's just like price just doesn't want to really move the way we want it to. It's just not wanting to get around the structure. So we're just kind of watching it and just making sure. But we might go ahead and just close this one out. 48.25. So about $9 profit. So nothing too crazy. We'll go ahead and delete this order as well. Nothing too crazy. It's just not wanting to move where we want it to go. It may get there eventually, but of course, with a binary option, you want it to kind of close below that price at the expiry. So, and because we're just kind of fluttering around, our price was right at this zone, and price has just been fluttering around there for, as you can see, from this point all right here. And so we've been kind of going out of profit, in profit, out of profit, in profit, and it looks like we're about to go out of profit. So it's one of those things. Once you get closer to the expiry, you don't really want to kind of test your faith on that, and you want to be able to just cash in on the profits that you have and then just move on to the next thing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this trade. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to comment in the comment section down below, or email us by visiting our website, www.thrivingbull.com. There you can still sign up for our signals once we release them in beta in the first week of November. You can follow our signals. We will have an auto trader that gives you full access to to every product that we have. We'll have deviation trading, forex strategies, all of the above. And if you'd like to sign up for that, please visit our website at www.thrivingbull.com.